The secret to success is stupidly simple actually. It really comes down to just a couple of key things. 3 things to be specific. Get these 3 things right and you'll pretty much guarantee results. Watch all the way to the end of the video and I promise you, I'll equip you with exact tools and mindsets you need to finally build the life of your dreams. This video will quite literally transform you into the person you've always wanted to be. A transformation that starts with the first thing, the unspoken truth about yourself. Despite what your mama may have told you, you are not destined for great things. You're not that special. You're pretty average actually. But guess what? That's actually awesome. Being average gives you a different kind of superpower, a different kind of edge, more important than talent or luck. Unfortunately, it only comes when you make peace with your averageness, and the reality is, most people never do. Most people have what social psychologists call illusory superiority, a cognitive bias where they overestimate their own abilities when comparing themselves to others. In other words, they think they are better than those around them, if not outwardly, then at least secretly. For example, research studies show 93% of Americans think they are better drivers than average. Studies show 90% of teachers think they are better than their peers as well. Unfortunately, the math just doesn't math out. If everyone thinks they are above average, then where are all the below average folks at? Do they live in the sewers with the mole rats, shunned from society? Do they only come out at night and feed on your rotting garbage when you aren't looking? No wonder scientists can't get them to answer these stupid surveys. Actually, this is something called the Dunning-Kruger effect, and I'd argue holds you back from your fullest potential. Because when you realize you're just average, you get to work. You know you can't rely on natural-born talent or good looks, so you rely on the only thing you can control, putting one foot in front of the other. It's like that classic story of the turtle and the hare. The hare knows he's one fast mofo, and so he dilly-dallies, takes a bunch of naps, smokes a bunch of crack, and hangs out with his buddies. He'll get back to the race tomorrow. The turtle, on the other hand, pushes forward on sheer grit day after day and trains himself to become an unstoppable machine. That groovy turtle shell on his back isn't just for show. It houses a turbocharged 8-cylinder piston engine. When the local crack dealer breaks the poor bunny's fuzzy kneecaps for stiffing him one time too many, he'll have nothing. He never bothered to build something of real value for himself. But not you. Once you accept your averageness, you're ready for the most ultimate transformation of all. Level 1. As long as you show up to the start line and start crawling, you've successfully achieved level 1. What does this look like in real life? If you're in school, that's handing in all your homework, reading the actual pages assigned. If you're at work, that's being on time, dressing the part. We all know what showing up looks like. It's no secret. In any endeavor, it's pretty obvious what you have to do. If you're a salesman, it's cold calling 25 people a day. If you're a musician, it's practicing every single day. If you're a YouTuber, it's making videos every single day. But the key of level 1, the reason why it's so hard to achieve, is the consistency of it all, the monotony of it all. It's about doing those cold calls, hitting those piano keys, pressing record every single day. It's about showing up even when you don't feel like it. That's why being average is a huge superpower. If you realize you aren't special, you'll realize you can't rely on anyone but yourself, that you have nothing going on for you. You inherently know you can't even afford to skip even a single damn day. But on the flip side, if you start thinking, hey, maybe I'm better than average. I got talent, I got looks, I got other things going on for me. Maybe you have an OnlyFans account you're hoping will soon take off. Either way, that's when you start to think, maybe I'm too good for this. The dirty work of showing up is beneath me. Maybe I can skip a few days. I'll take a quick nap, smoke some crack with my buddies, and catch up with you later and still win. Nah, you can't, man. That same mentality just repeats itself over and over again until one day there's no more races left and you're simply stuck in the ditch, 10 feet under the ground. Fact is, every day a new race begins. Every day you decide if you want to be the turtle or the hare. That's why it's dirty ass work. It's not conceptually difficult. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to realize what you need to do. It's the execution that kills everybody at this level. Stop waiting to feel like it. Just show the up. Once you're humming along nicely at level 1, you're ready for level 2, the 10% rule. Level 1 is doing what you're supposed to do. I call it the bare minimum. Level 2 is doing all that plus 10%. That's it. Whatever is expected, whatever other people are doing, I do that and then some. So if my buddies are calling 100 people a day, I'll call 110 people a day. If Bob runs 1 mile a day, I'll run 1.1 miles a day. Mr. Hardick just assigned 10 problems for tonight. Screw him, I'll do 11 problems. Make 10% a habit for literally everything. 10% extra isn't that much in the end, but it's the principle of it all. The only way to become extraordinary is to do extraordinary things. It's literally in the word, extra on top of ordinary. Don't rely on feelings. Don't just believe you're different. Know you are. Facts don't care about feelings. The only way to create fact is to rest your case on an irrefutable mountain of proof, a never-ending stack of undeniable evidence. I call this building the stack. Keep an actual logbook of your 10% wins if you need to. Point is, when you start to accumulate real evidence, something magical happens. Your identity starts to shift. An unshakable confidence starts to grow. You begin to realize you are in control of your destiny. There's no way you're average because by definition, the 10% rule means you never do average things. But I know what you're thinking. Working harder doesn't mean jack squat. Sure, it's unfair sometimes. The dude who only called 10 people ended up making the sale. You called 50 people and still nothing. But guess what? In the end, volume trumps everything. Volume is how you increase luck. Volume is how you increase skill. Volume is the basic foundational building block for success in literally everything. People always say to work harder, not smarter. Yeah, that looks great on a poster, but completely ignores reality. If you knew how to work smarter, you'd already be doing it. The real truth is actually the opposite. The only way to work smarter is to first work harder. Only by having an insane number of reps under your belt can you finally see what that smarter way is. You can't shortcut this basic fact of life. It's your job to figure out what works and what doesn't, to experiment, to fail, and still try again. One way to utilize hands-on experimentation for learning is with Brilliant. Brilliant's entire platform is based on the idea that you learn more when you actually engage in real-world problem solving. For example, have you ever wondered how ChatGPT works? No need to wonder anymore with Brilliant. Just take the course How Large Language Models Work, and Brilliant leads you through a multitude of interactive lessons designed to give you the exact insights you need to jumpstart your learning with AI. Because Brilliant fills their lessons with hands-on critical thinking, you get to build conceptual frameworks in a truly intuitive way. Best part is, you'll never feel like you're doing actual work. And that's just one course out of hundreds they offer in the catalog. From math to data analysis to computer science to foundational scientific principles. If that sounds cool, visit brilliant.org/spoonfedstudy or click on the link in the description to try Brilliant for free for 30 days and get 20% off the annual premium subscription. Thank you to Brilliant for sponsoring this video. Alex Hormozy has this bloody rope analogy, a timeline of the life that you pull towards you. Most people simply live an average life, doing the normal amount of work, eating, cleaning, sleeping, whatever else to keep the lights on. But if you want to get ahead, just eating the glass of today isn't enough. You have to eat the glass of tomorrow too, to face as much pain as possible from the future in the today. And so you pull this timeline of life towards you. You end up swallowing all these bloody shards of glass until the realization hits you. The longer you pull, the less coarse it becomes. Eventually, the glass disappears. Eventually, the rope becomes neutral until finally, it even starts to taste good. If we all could live 1,000 years, we'd all eventually finish pulling the rope and become successful. But people pull too slow and they die too soon. And so, they never get there. It's a sad story, but it doesn't have to be your sad story. Create a better one. Pull the damn rope faster. 10%, 20%. In fact, why not skip entire sections of that rope? To do so, you have to graduate to level 3. If everyone around you is selling hot dogs, what do? Sell hot dogs too, right? People probably really love hot dogs in this neighborhood, right? Wrong. What you actually should do is start selling hamburgers. If everyone's doing X, you start doing Y. Do what people are not doing. Think outside the box and compete in an arena you create for yourself. For example, back in the day, you had all these circus companies competing with one another, right? They're all doing the same exact thing. Exotic animals, freak shows, clowns, acrobatics. The only way to attract customers is by getting crazier. You either spend more money and hire bigger names, train more exotic animals, or you slash ticket prices to bare bone levels. Either way, it's a race to the bottom and completely unsustainable. One group saw the writing on the wall and took a completely different strategy. You've probably heard of them before. Cirque du Soleil, half circus, half Broadway, with a mix of theater sprinkled in between, an experience unlike any other. I mean, who are they competing with? Not the people who visit circuses, that's like kids and families, right? Not the people who regularly attend ballet and opera houses either, that's like the wealthy elite. Cirque du Soleil intentionally positioned themselves in a void without competition, a blue ocean of unlimited potential and growth. Because of this, they could raise ticket prices and lower costs. No need for expensive animals nor ego-filled star performers to headline their big shows. But a blue ocean strategy isn't just for businesses, it's for regular people like you and me too. But how do you create your own blue ocean? First way is to cross-pollinate. Don't reinvent the wheel. Take lessons in one sphere and translate it into another. It's hard to be an Olympic gold medalist, for example. Talent pool is huge. Everyone's training regimen is insane because in elite sports, an insane regimen is to be expected. It's actually the bare minimum. But let me ask you this, how many people are training like that as a software engineer, or as a salesman, or as a plumber? Very few. Even if you just did 25% of an Olympic training regimen, but in plumbing, you'd ascend insanely quickly. Companies take ideas like this from one another all the time. A simple idea like real-time package tracking gets translated into an app for taxis, which then gets translated into a slow-moving, blinking digital pizza icon on your phone. It slowly crawls its way across, taunting you as you stare and check every 2 seconds because you're hangry as hell. Second way is to get off the beaten path. In China, the way to a nice life is by acing the Gaokao college entrance exams. The score you get pretty much dictates what job you'll get, how much you'll make, and pretty much what happens with the rest of your life. Guess how many people take it each year? 13 million. Can you ensure you'll be in the top 10% of that? If not, why even bother? Going where the competition is the fiercest is just plain stupid. You'll die a painful and slow death. In the circus example, that's you desperately trying to train a lion to jump through hoops while bouncing 100 feet in the air. Not only is it ridiculous, some dude's already doing it, except better. Because his lion is on fire, dodging missiles, and solving differential equations all at the same time. Be Cirque du Soleil instead. Focus your energy on something with better odds. It's scary to do something no one else is doing, but that's the point. If 13 million people are already doing it, it's no longer a blue ocean. If you're a kid in China, a blue ocean strategy could be catering to rich tourists and showing them the hidden gems of China's many quirky cities, like virgin tea eggs boiled in the urine of little boys to capture the ancient, mystical, magical, anti-inflammatory healing abilities of ancestral stupidity. It's a real thing, look it up. Or, if that sounds too freaky, just study abroad and bypass the Gaokao completely. Doesn't matter what you choose in the end, just combine your unique talents with the unique opportunities found all around you. Third way is to realize people are out there to help you. You just have to be authentic. For example, when you see a cute girl or dude hanging out somewhere, what do you usually do? Come up with some elaborate scene where the world is ending, right? That somehow in this mess, you and your love interest coincidentally get stuck together. You save her, she saves you, and by the end of the first episode, you're making out and popping babies out like crazy. Wait, what? You never had thoughts like that? Oh shoot, that was just me. Fuck. I don't care if you're surrounded by friends, their grandma, or a gang of ninja assassins. Go up to them and introduce yourself. No ulterior motives, no corny pickup lines, just be real. Tell them you thought they were cute and that you had to meet them. That's it. You'd be surprised how frequently this works. And if they do reject you, that's perfectly fine. Now's your chance to show them what you're really made of. Just smile and say, okay, no problem. Sorry to have bothered you. See you later. And then carry on like the boss you are. In the age of AI and curated social media profiles, real authenticity is hard to find. It's never been easier to hide behind a veil of perfection. And yet, we all know the truth. No one is perfect. And so, by actually being vulnerable, by actually showcasing imperfection, you ironically stand out. Deep down, we all just want real connection. I'll give you another example. One dude needed money for college. You know what he did? He reached out to famous baseball players on Instagram and ended up getting a sizable chunk of cash from 2 players on the Red Sox. I know what you're thinking. Are you telling me all I have to do is send a bunch of famous people? Yo bro, I need money, homie, and I'll get rich? Holy crap. Nah, dude, first of all, he talked to them like normal people. Even though they didn't respond, he continued sending messages. Not every day, of course, that's being creepy, but maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks. Guess how long he kept at it? An entire year. Each message was carefully crafted, heartfelt, and genuine. He was a singer, you see, and he'd give them updates on his life, things he was working on, concerts he'd done, big life events he was excited about. If you were the baseball player on the receiving end, you can't help but feel charmed, right? I mean, think about it. A year of reading about some dude's life. It became almost like a fun check-in, an invisible pen pal you look forward to hearing from. And after about a year of this, you can't help but feel like you know the guy. You can't help but want to help, to respond, to donate to his education fund. Are you noticing something? This Red Sox story encapsulates exactly everything we've been talking about this whole time. Levels 1, 2, and 3 are all there. Step 1 is just showing up. It's just sending the message and staying persistent with it for an entire year. But that's not enough, right? Because the dude's inbox is flooded with the new fan mail every day. And so, to stand out, you just have to do a little bit extra than most. That's the 10% rule of level 2. Some will take this to mean writing longer paragraphs or sending messages more frequently, but that's not going to work, right? That's the circus again. It's the race to the bottom type strategy. What are you gonna do? Write the dude your personal sob story spanning 10 pages of material every week? Not sustainable and not very smart. That's why level 3 is important. Dude implemented level 3 from the very beginning by getting off the beaten path. Who else is taking the time to craft authentic messages, carefully nurtured to create real emotional connection in a way to get the dude to actually care about you, to invest in you over an entire year? An entire year. The average dude can't even be bothered to consistently floss for an entire year. Bottom line is this: mastering the 3 levels is the key to everything. Once you recognize this pattern, you'll start to see it everywhere and in everything. It's fundamental to almost every success story. Physics has the laws of thermodynamics, right? This is the same idea, but for self-actualization. Ingrain these laws into your brain and implement them with something today. And once you do, I sincerely look forward to meeting the person you'll soon become. At any rate, I hope this video was helpful. If you want ideas and stories just like this delivered to your inbox, sign up for my Substack and get some digestible productivity tips sent your way today. Or for more bite-sized regular emails, sign up for the official SpoonFed Ideas newsletter. If you want your very own custom-made character doodle to be part of all future video scenes I draw, then join these fine folks and become a Patreon member. You can be yourself, a dog, or even a rock. Possibilities are endless. And as always, best way to support the channel is to subscribe. Go tell your friends, your grandma, and your pet hamster. Smile you later.